Hello everybody, I have important forums today, but I went back as I'm waiting. There's one starting here in about an hour, and then of course I'm waiting for Putin as well too, for climate and what he's going to present as one of the P5. So we're going to get into Pierre Poilievre. It's very, very disheartening how many people are eating his absolute baloney. And conservatives, yesterday I was in with CPC, one of their strongest PACs, and Pierre Poilievre was in there, and of course commenting. They turned off my ability to comment to all the people viewing. So, of course, they didn't like the truth, which is what's in this video. Any of you, as I said to all the people of Medicine Hat yesterday, and I think Canadians, if you want to know the truth of all your governments, where the Conservative Party of Canada is going, where obviously Doug Ford and Jason Kenney are going, that is the exact same path with some different policies, but basically the same finish line, because they are one and the same. What I always keep trying to tell everybody, Crown Power. Pierre Poilievre is a sworn lifetime Privy Council. He swore an oath to that crown of Canada, which is the politicians, over all of you, all foreign interest, foreign controlled. And Pierre Poilievre likes to talk so well, tell all of you, oh, the Liberals are bad, I'm so much better, we're great Conservatives. Except for the fact, and this is for Western Standard, I should have actually tagged Corey Morgan. Nobody likes to look at the absolute rape of the parties. They're all crying, Aaron O'Toole outlined carbon tax. Let's vote Pierre Poilievre. Guess where his carbon tax came from? In this video, that link to February 21st is here. I spent an hour going back through till I got it and copied the link. It's there. It's right on my Facebook right here now on this video, embedded in the title. You can click it, download it, Canadians. At least if you can't read all the detail, I like detail. I read the volumes, even though it makes me sick to my stomach. I do it because it has to be done. I stop when I don't understand something, and then I will look up the terms to figure out exactly what is being said. I do this on large academic scales. People who try to talk fancy around you, but I will take the definitions as are per that country. But in this document, everybody, carbon tax, absolutely it's there. Worse, the traditional conservative buyout of the bloc, transferring the wealth of the West, expanding it in the new Green New Deal. It's all there. Massive, massive socialism. Key C40 cities for you, those of you who don't know the agenda, UN Sustainable Goals. C40 cities, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, massive wealth transfer, all these promises of so much housing, subsidized housing, put up, paid for by the West, paid for by working Canadians right across the board, out of the primary industry. That's Pierre Poilievre's secret to success. Massive reading. He gets into guaranteed basic income, basically. All kinds of freebies, hundreds and hundreds of promises of more money, more spending. Healthcare, massive expansion, massive more equalization. It's disgusting. It's to win Quebec, obviously. It's to win Ontario. It's to win BC. That whole regime. They are just catering to it. Selling all of the rest of you in every other province. Gone, bye, see you later. They have all the seats. They can win Vancouver, Greater Vancouver. They can win Ontario and its major municipalities, and of course Quebec major municipalities, they win the election. To do that, they must go with sustainable development goals, absolute supersized socialism, transferring the wealth out of Atlantic provinces, starving them, absolutely starving out the West and all of your primary industries, which will absolutely destroy all your businesses. If you're not feeling it right now, you will. There is zero difference, just a matter of which foreign interests are going in which direction. It's the same people that got two policy bags. You can take A or you can take B. So Pierre Poilievre's taking socialism, globalist reset A, and Trudeau's taking B on the more socialist side. Either way, you guys, we end up with the same crap. You, the people, are not even there. You're not. It's to win those key ridings in their disproportionate weight at the absolute expense of all the Canadian people. And when you manufacture these socialist, globalist concepts, all foreign, you absolutely rape, pillage, and plunder your people. The amount of money that Pierre Poilievre and his little groupies that are absolutely tied in with Aaron O'Toole, they are his privy council to be. They are from his major city municipalities that are put first and foremost beyond everybody else, because that's how Justin Trudeau does it. That's how Justin Trudeau stays in power. It's not about the majority, it's about the majority of seats. Key areas and demographics where you have those extra seats, that's who you cater to. Everybody else is to be sold out. Expansion of the Indian Act, many promises of money. Where does that come from? Well, that's all of you, the working people. You can't even afford the kind of money we're talking about here. If you think that Trudeau's deficit spending is going to go away by electing the Conservatives, it's not. It's not, Canadians. You're just going to be paying more and more as the years roll out. You're going to be devalued more and more as the years go on, while these filthy, autocratic, crown-empowered politicians become wealthier and wealthier. Jason Kenney, a high school graduate, do you think that he was able to amass a $13 million fortune by being just a MP, a cabinet minister in the Harper government alone? Or do you think those special interests through his immigration radical policies for Canada, massive expansion of equalization, do you think that the foreign interests made him wealthy? Or do you think somehow he's a master of investment, even though he loses Alberta a crap load of money? Everything he's done has been absolutely, and you all know it. But somehow, magically, his portfolio has grown. He's got to be the greatest personal investor in the history of Canada. Premier Jason Kenney. I wonder what his value will be when his term of 4 years is done, like all of the rest of the filthy crown autocrats. There's no such thing as parties. That's just a con job. There was a moral time where politicians had some moral compass. But as the years go on and the bloat of all the special interests and foreign influence grows, the attachments to these parties, that they're not required by any law in Canada to absolutely abstain from. They don't have to. There's nothing any of you can do about it, except for elect an honest party of the people to come forward and absolutely end it. That's what the CCP is, to end this brutal autocracy, this fat cat, pigs at the trough, across every board. Canadian taxpayers is looking at it going, what's going on? What is going on? You've lost your party, my friends. It's gone. John Carpe, he's learned it's gone. He's fighting his fight as best he can against an unsurmountable force called the Crown, which is our politicians, all of them, everyone you elect. They figure it out. They get in there, especially with the federal parties. They've been in there many times. They learn, they grow, they realize this ultimate power, and it just gets worse with every government, regardless of the party, because they want that crown power. They don't want you to have any power. They feel that it is their destiny to rule over you, and a lot of you won't look at the fine details. Like Pierre Poilievre is laughing today. I just looked at his post, and tens of thousands of Canadians, oh, we love you, Pierre. Rape me. Tell me what I want to hear. Lie to me. He's an absolute liar. An absolute liar. He's legally allowed to lie his face off to you, and he does. Just like all of them. They're legally allowed to lie to you. Call your elections office today and say, do politicians have to be honest to me? At least you'll get that truth from any elections office in Canada. They'll say, no, there's no law. Politicians are not regulated to tell you the truth. They can say whatever they want to you, but what they publish and put in writing, that's absolute. Just like what's right here, already 2 months old, you guys. 2 months old, not one conservative, Western Standard, or anybody wants to talk about it. Somehow, let's put the horse blind. It's not true, even though we just watched carbon tax roll out with Aaron O'Toole, even though that he told you all to get elected for leader of the party, that he was going to fight that. He's a true blue conservative, but now already the policies are coming forward and changing. Pierre Poilievre and his little cronies, the absolute shadow cabinet of Aaron O'Toole, the Privy Council to be, which a lot of them, like Pierre Poilievre, Michelle Rempel, are all sworn Privy Council members. Canadians, you have to start learning this stuff, or you're just going to keep pulling your pants down and letting a free-for-all of politicians from every stripe, all of them, absolutely all of them. If they're not talking constitutionalism, if they're not talking like I am to you, as a real citizen, a hard-working man my whole life, a provider of his family, I've never lied to Canadians. You'll never find people saying, oh, he's a liar. I always back up everything I say in absolute reality by the best of the best. And this is in the words of Pierre Poilievre, Tamara Jensen, Ted Falk, and one other fella that I'm not recalling right now, but they're in this title. That is Aaron O'Toole's little Privy Council of to be, and some who absolutely are. Michelle Rempel's one too. How come she doesn't say a word? Because she's sworn not to. She's sworn not to you, the constituents, even of Calgary. She's sworn to a higher power, the absolute crown in Canada, which is the political system. All parties want to gravitate to this. Politics always draws the worst human beings. For all of you who've been with me, who've lived this and walked this line with me, my loyalist of followers, you know what I'm saying is true because you lived it too. You got to see it firsthand, and many of you have moved on to other parties, but you go, oh my God, it's going on again, no matter what. Because nobody is strong enough to say no. They want that power. They want that absolute power over all of you. They will embrace the system. So if you don't hear a politician going, I want to have constitutionalism, I want to destroy the crown, I want to give the power to the people, like America did, the United States of America. That's what they did. They had a huge fight. I know a lot of you say, oh, the only way is through revolution. That's true, and that is historically accurate, that's the way of the world. However, we've had a third-class citizen go into that system, and I figured it out. It's really just that simple. You elect a party that promises to destroy the crown. You elect a party to fire the Governor General, Lieutenant Governor. These are the crown-empowered these are the crown-empowered positions. These are the ones that have the autocratic power to do whatever they want over your courts and over all of you. We fire all of them. That's for every province, Lieutenant Governor. We appoint ours sworn to the party, which is sworn to all of you. You just have to put your faith in that I would see that done. I would use the crown to absolutely destroy the crown. That means settling First Nations once and for all, ending all of that socialism and freeing that people. A massive, massive human rights tribute in the world today. Fixing Canada permanently. Yes, that means taking the rest of the 79% of Canada and dispersing it amongst First Nations and then the rest of Canadians. That can be negotiated. That has to be negotiated. Why do people get so greedy when you already don't have nothing? Do you ever ask yourself why your home values are through the roof, your property values continue to go through the roof? Because you only have 11% of this country. When you borrow foreign, which Canada can't even do anymore, because of people like Rocco Galati, who's not a hero, he's a foreign lawyer from a foreign power who came in here and usurped your rights, you the people's rights, took your public institution and gave it to the politicians who were more than happy to have the courts rule at the supreme level in their favor with Rocco Galati. He's not a good guy, he's a bad guy. Look at what happened with the terrorism in Canada and the major payout. Do you think other countries would ever behave in that kind of manner? No, only Canada. We are that rogue UN state. We are one of the states that's perpetuating the agenda. Your politicians are front and center. The constitutional monarchy. We can blame the UN. We are one of those problematic nations. We are one of the leaders of this development goals. I know my home city, Edmonton, Alberta. The mayor was front and center on it. He's driving it. Through the Liberals, sure. But so are the Conservatives. And so does NDP want to. They want that ultimate crown too. So will Green Party. So will Maverick. So will all of them. And Maverick's run by Jay Hill, another lifetime sworn Privy Council member. You've been hijacked, folks. There's no getting out of the system until we realize that it's rigged. And it's rigged by none other than the politicians. There is no Queen of England arranging all this stuff. That's another full of BS narrative to keep you falling on your face so you don't address reality. She's been gone since she was crowned. Her father, King George VI, had ended it all. He died before he could finish with an amendment to the Canadian Constitutional Act. We never got it done. Liberals, Conservatives said, shh, let's keep this for ourselves. It's like having a whole bunch of crowns. Shh, here, Premier of this province, here's your little crown. You don't have to do nothing. Even though the Act specifies you should write a constitution. That's a division of your powers. Cement it. But all those, oh no, none of them want to do it. Not one province, not one territory in the history of Canada. Even though that's their divine constitutional power, but they didn't want to, and they don't want to. Why would you? I don't have to be accountable to the people. I'm allowed to lie my face off, steal as much money as I want, help all my friends, everyone who's loyal to me, and rape the hell out of the people, and there's nothing they can do about it. I get to control courts in my jurisdictional area. I get to control the lawyers. I get to control the police. They're sworn to me. Well, why would I ever give up that kind of superpower? I'm stronger than a communist. Absolutely, that's true. It's sick. And Canadians just keep going forward, going, oh, help me. Just vote another one of these pricks in. Man or woman, it doesn't matter. Vote them all in. Until they're promising you absolute constitutionalism, we the people, rules of how to be governed and governance, you're just going to get fed the stick, which means crack, steal all your money, not only all your money, but they are going to devalue and rape and rob your children unborn or born today, but your grandchildren or the grandchildren born today, ruining their lives forever. This borrowing, this deficit spending is never going to end. It's never going to end until the pockets of the politicians have nothing more to take. If you want an example, look at Venezuela. They can go all the way to the country absolutely falls apart. Absolutely. They don't care. And the people go running. You'll all end up as refugees if you allow enough decades to go by. You will all watch, or your offspring or your grandchildren or great-grandchildren will be refugees. That's what will happen. It's been done many times in this world. And Canada's no exception. We are falling faster than anybody else right now. And why? Because of the crown-embedded colonial autocracy, the absolute divinity of your politicians, who are legally always allowed to lie to you. What they say and what they publish, just like the report in this video, again, take the time, download it. If you don't want to read all the pages, do me a tremendous favor. At least read the hundreds of recommendations. And there's 2 parts to this document. I know it's 355 pages. I know 99% of people won't read this, but it's true nonetheless. The extreme socialism, the extreme rape of all the Canadian people are in it. There is no difference between liberal and conservative at this point at all. And other parties promising you the world when that crown gets bestowed on their head, when you give them that power, they're going to run with it because there's no rules of governance. All the same evil groups will come forward and say, excuse me, how would you like to be a multi-millionaire for the rest of your life? For the grace of your 4-year term, do this, and you will be taken care of for the rest of your life. And if you play your cards right, and you're really good at lying to people, and you can look people in the eye, lie over and over, and you're really skilled at it, you know, and people fall for it, they do. Paul Revere, he's some piece of work, a real piece of shit, and it's disheartening. So is Rempel, and I like these people too, everybody, just so you know, but I always go by what you publish. What have you published? And what Pierre-Paul Revere publishes is nothing even remotely close to what he talks about. And just because he flatters you with 4 or 5 policies, he's got 178 policies that are going to destroy your lives forever. Your children's lives, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Those not even born yet have already lost tremendously. They're born worth that much less. Never to get ahead. That's the future of Canada. That's our mainstream parties. Take the download. Check it out. Bye now.